All right, so hello class. Today we're going to be doing accessing community resources, which is lesson 12. So we're going to start with the video that we usually start with, and then we'll get into the rest of the lesson.
I can't believe I agreed to go on that trip with that guy last weekend. He totally made a move on me and I didn't stop him. I hate myself.
What happened last night at Steve's party? I was so out of it that I don't remember. Did Steve make me do something I didn't want to do? I hate this!
It was only once, but it takes one time to get pregnant. What should I do?
It was only once, but it only takes one time to catch something. What should I do?
All right, so we're just going to think about what happened in that video, and then we'll watch the second half at the end of the lesson and kind of come back to it and digest. So what are today's learning objectives? We're going to describe how HIV and AIDS is spread through a population and identify resources for HIV and STI testing and reproductive health services. Your evidence of achievement for today will be if you participate in the lesson activities or assignments, which are going to be in your Google Classroom. If you complete the lesson worksheets, or actually they would be the assignments that are turned into Google Forms, which you will also complete in your Google Classroom. And if you're committed to using reproductive health services when needed. So we're going to start with an activity. Go ahead and pause the video and you can go onto the Google Classroom. It's going to be called the transmission game. So it's similar to this activity that we would have done in the classroom, but it shows the transmission of STIs in a different way. So go ahead and play the game real quickly and then come back to the video. So now you all have completed the video. Don't worry too much about these questions because they're a little bit different considering the game that you just played. Just think about the last couple questions for me, which would be, how is the activity similar to the real AIDS epidemic, and how is the activity different from the real AIDS epidemic? You'll answer those in your reflection, so just think about your responses and think about how the game went for you and what the outcome was and what ended up happening. Okay, so moving forward, do you remember the window period? So a couple lessons ago, we talked about HIV and AIDS. Most HIV tests are antibody tests, and an HIV infection will not show up immediately. HIV antibodies don't appear until 3 to 12 weeks after infection. So the tests that are done are checking for either the white blood cells in your body, and if that count is very low, then that means there's something affecting your immune system. Or if the HIV test is a blood test, then it's checking how many antibodies you have in your immune system, meaning how much of the virus you have in your immune system. HIV antibodies usually don't show up until 3 to 12 weeks after the infection. So to get the most accurate test for an HIV test, usually you want to wait the 12 weeks, which would be about 3 months after you think that you were infected. Now, there is a special combination test that can detect HIV within 2 to 6 weeks. So that is an option if you don't want to wait the 3 months, which, a lot of people wouldn't want to wait that long to find out if they have HIV or not, if they think that they engaged in high risk behavior that put them at risk of getting HIV. Okay. So what are the steps for getting tested? You can start by calling for more information. So say you might not know where this clinic is, or you don't know if they offer HIV testing, but you just saw their information on a website. Go ahead and call the number for more information. Once they give you more information and say you decide to have an appointment or go through a walk-in, you will go visit the clinic that you chose to visit. You can talk to the counselor at that point, and they will kind of go through, depending on the facility that you go to, they will kind of go through a small questionnaire asking why you think you're at risk, what type of sexual activity you engage in that put you at risk, and then I'll ask if you want to get tested. At that point, you will offer some kind of body fluid sample and or visual examination. So that would either be, depending on what you're getting tested for, a urine sample, blood sample, a swab of the throat or the cheek for saliva. And then if you have visual symptoms that you want them to take a look at, it could be a visual examination as well. You will then return to the clinic after they have your results and they call you in for a discussion of your results. And then the last step would be review the results and make plans. So whether you are negative or positive, they will call you to give you your results. Some clinics offer you the results over the phone. Other clinics tell you that if you don't receive a call within 2 weeks, and that means that you don't have any STIs that you were tested for. And others, regardless of you having the STI or not, still want you to come back into the office to have a discussion with your physician. Okay, so it all depends on the clinic. Everyone or most facilities do things differently. So to find your local clinic. Young adults throughout the US can find a testing site near them by visiting gettested.cdc.gov. You can also call 1-800-CDC-INFO or text your zip code to Know It, which is 566948, for information on access to birth control and family planning services in your community. So we're going to watch the second part of the video as soon as it loads.
It's really important that anyone who has had any sort of sexual contact gets an STI test. And women who have unprotected sex should get a pregnancy test as well. There are several community clinics in our area that provide free and confidential testing. To spell that out, students, it means that you can get tested and it's completely private.
I'm here for a free and confidential STI test. I'm here for a free and confidential STI test.
I'm here for a free and confidential pregnancy test. I'm here for a free and confidential pregnancy test. Hi, I'm here for a free pregnancy test? That's confidential.
I want a free confidential STI test.
You're in the right place. Come on in and we'll talk.
All right, so how did the story end? What happened in the second half of the story? And what can you learn from this? Now go ahead and think about your responses. In your Google Classroom, there will be a small kind of like question board where you can give your responses to these questions. So just think about what happened in the video, and then you'll write down your responses on the Google Classroom. Time for a quiz. So your quiz is going to be also on your Google Classroom. At this point, I'll conclude the presentation because the answers are on the slide and I want you all to fill out your quiz before the fact. So go ahead and fill out that quiz. This concludes the end of this one. And if you have any questions, also submit that in your reflection for today. Okay, have a great rest of your day.